The fact that you're looking at the numbers, that's good. However, like, we can do better, right? What's up, guys? Welcome to Brand Talk with Rachel and Drew. My name is Rachel. Drew is not here. So I have an episode for you guys all alone today. I wanted to share just a little bit of insight into my thought process when it comes to your numbers. And I know that there's like this saying of like, you've got to know your numbers, but it's not just knowing what they are. Okay. Just knowing what they are isn't going to make the difference in whether or not you're profitable or not. And it's the same kind of thing. It's like, you could know that maybe your health needs to improve, or you could know that maybe your relationship needs to improve, but like, you're not maybe willing or making time to put in the work to make those changes. Right. So knowing isn't doing. Okay. So when it comes to knowing your numbers, that's a great place to start. But I want you guys to really, I want to just kind of walk you through a little bit of like tactical guidance of like how I execute my week and how I look at my numbers and what I do to change the outcome if I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Okay. So inside of our Salon Owner Club community, we have, obviously different layers of visibility based on the different programs that our clients are part of, but we do have a free Salon Owner community. We do have certain calls that we do open up to the whole community. So if you're not a part of the Salon Owner Club community, definitely, please go click that link, sign up for the Salon Owner Club. It's completely free. And that way you can start to integrate some of those call options into your month. But I do want to share something that we actually did inside of our mastermind. I'm going to kind of give you guys a little bit of a quick run through of it here, because I think it's going to be really helpful and really make a big difference in how you're thinking and the things that you're doing on a weekly basis. So the thing that we went over about 2 weeks ago inside of that particular mastermind was basically, I was telling everyone, I'm like, guys, you are the CFO of your company. Even if you have a CFO, like an actual CFO, like we do, you're still in that role. Like, you own your business, right? Like, you are responsible for the results, whether they're good, bad, or ugly inside of your business. So the good news is, like Drew always says, if it's your fault, you can fix it, right? So that's the good news, is that if you aren't liking what you're seeing, you're not liking the numbers that are on your P&L, you're feeling burnout, you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling like, why is everything going wrong? And I'm working so hard and I'm not getting where I want to go. The good news is that you have the ability to put an end to that. But I can tell you, but doing the same thing that you've always done isn't likely going to give you that result, because what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So when it comes to looking at your numbers, and that's going to be the area that I'm going to hyper focus in right now, if you're just looking at your profit and loss statement and you're just seeing like, where did I land, last month, that's not really like, the fact that you're looking at the numbers, that's good. However, like, we can do better, right? So when you get your profit and loss statement, and that's assuming that you're getting one every single month, which you should be. So if you have a CPA, and I hope to God you do, you have a CPA, an accountant, a bookkeeper, please know all three of those people are not the same person, by the way. There's different layers of involvement and different layers of investment to get those different things. But your profit and loss statement should be to you no later than probably the 10th business day of the month. And that's super, super important, because if you're not getting it until you ask for it, or you are emailing your CPA and you're like, hey, I haven't gotten a P&L in 3 months. Like, where are you at? Chances are you need to get a new CPA. You need to get a new bookkeeper or a new accountant. A lot of people will refer to this person. They'll refer to their bookkeeper as their CPA. There's a big difference between a CPA and a bookkeeper. There's a big difference between an accountant and a bookkeeper, or an accountant and a CPA, or a CPA and a CFO. So please be clear about the actual person that you have hired as to who they are, what is their actual role, and what certifications or, different things do they have that makes them qualified to do your books. Okay. So if they're just doing the books and they're sending, they're categorizing stuff in QuickBooks and they're sending you a profit and loss statement, which, by the way, if you have QuickBooks, and you should, you can go pull your own profit and loss statements. But if your categorization is all over the place and you haven't logged in and God knows when, chances are it's going to be a mess and it's going to need a renovation, which is something that a lot of people need when they first start getting involved in this type of stuff. And that can obviously be an expense, but it can also be a timely thing too. So please don't try and clean up your QuickBooks yourself. Leave it to professionals. You're going to have to guide them and let them know like, hey, this vendor, is cost of goods. This vendor is going to be for overhead, etc. This is a payroll expense. This is this expense. But once you've gotten the books cleaned up and they've been renovated, and then you can maintain them, okay? And not necessarily you, but your team, meaning your bookkeeper, your CPA, whoever it is that you have hired. And if you're looking for a great referral, please reach out to me on Instagram. I've got an incredible referral. We actually use their company ourselves. I'm happy to give you the name and email of who you can contact. But when you are looking at your profit and loss statement, it's not just a quick, let me flip through the pages and see the number on the back page, okay? You have to, number one, identify, do I like what I see? Okay, number one. Number two, what errors are there inside this document that I need to now go back to the accounting team or whoever it is, and I need to talk to them and say, hey, I understand that you might be showing $8,000 in uncategorized expenses, okay? Huge red flag for me. That is the first thing that I look for when I look at someone's profit and loss statement is how much uncategorized expenses is your bookkeeper just shoving into that bucket because he or she doesn't want to go sort it, categorize it, ask you a question about it, or figure out where does it fit, okay? So if you have a black hole of a bucket called uncategorized expenses, you are leaving money on the table, 100%. And you also, here's the thing, you don't have visibility into what is even in that category. I don't even know. How can I change it if I don't know? How can I make tactical decisions as a business owner if it's just in this like little line, uncategorized expenses, $14,583. Like, you don't know what that is. So here's the good news though. You have the ability to say, hey, I want to pull all the transactions from this particular, I want to pull all the transactions, everything. And I want to go line by line and I want to understand what went into uncategorized expenses. Okay. So here's what we're doing now. Here's what I'm explaining to you is an audit. Okay. Doesn't take a long time, especially if you're just doing a month. Okay. If you're just looking at last month. Okay. So I'm filming this in the month of May. You guys are looking back at April's numbers, right? Like, okay, what's inside that bucket? What is it? What's the vendor name? How much was it? What was it for? Okay. Was it necessary? Was it a need or a want? Those are the things I think about. So if you are in the red in your business and you've got a bunch of uncategorized expenses, or what I like to do is I like to look at, okay, this time last year, what did I spend in this category? And how much higher or lower am I this month, in the month of May, as I was last year in May, right? So I like to do a cross comparison, and that really allows you to see, okay, if revenue's grown, that's good, but expenses likely rose with it, okay? It's very rare that you see revenue increase and expenses, it's literally impossible. Your revenue increasing and your expenses are literally dropping or staying the same. I just don't see it. It's okay for yes, as you make more money, you're going to have more people, more processes, maybe more tech, more moving parts to run that bigger business, right? But you want to make sure that you understand exactly what is being spent where. Okay. Now, let me tell you, if you are drinking Starbucks every day, a $4.85 drink or $5 drink or whatever, and you're looking for money being left on the table, I can tell you, yes, that will help, but that's not going to dig you out of a financial hole. All right. So I want you to look for the bigger things first, the bigger rocks. And those are the things that I want you to prioritize and get down right now. What if you could decrease your color expenses by 20%? Think about what that could do. You know what I'm saying? If you're spending, let's say $100,000 a year on color, okay, which is very easy to do. If you have a multi-million-dollar salon, you could very well be spending $100,000 a year on color. and you're spending $100,000 on color, and you figure out a way to streamline your service menu and get your cost of goods down, and you can save 20%, like that's a really good use of your time. Let's say that you decide, okay, I'm not going to buy Fiji water anymore. I'm just going to buy the Kirkland's brand water. That'll help. However, it's not going to be like, it's not going to yield the same effect as this like other thing over here. So the main thing that I like to look at is payroll. Number one, majority of the money that's coming out of your business is going to go to payroll. Hands down, that's where it's going. The next big ticket item is going to be your overhead, which is going to likely involve your, of course, your rent or mortgage if you happen to own your building. And if you happen to own your building, bravo. I wish I could own my building. So like those are like the big things. The next big thing is going to be your cost of goods. Okay. So that's going to be your color, your back bar. It might be your, shampoo and conditioner and styling products. If you have a boutique inside your businesses like we do, making sure that those numbers are dialed in, that your margins are dialed in based off, what your cash conversion cycle is of, okay, I have this dress or this candle, I have this thing. How many weeks on average is it sitting there? And what does my margin need to be to make that make sense? Okay. So if you're turning inventory really, really quickly, right? You might be able to do, okay, maybe I'm just going to do I'm going to buy the candle for 20, sell it for 40. Maybe that's enough. If you're not, and you've got stuff that's sitting there for a pretty lengthy period of time, I would highly recommend having a little bit of a steeper markup. That way, when that thing does sell, right, you've got this extra money that is able to come along with it. So there's so many opportunities inside of the walls of your business. And I want you guys to start to see that, number one, you are the one, not me, not Drew, not your CPA. You are the one that has the power to say yay or nay to that thing. Okay. Whatever that thing is. If it's an increase on something, if it's new trays, it's investing in retail or investing in a brand or whatever, like you're the one that gets to make that decision. That's you. Nobody can make that decision for you. All people can do is, your CPA and bookkeeper, they're not going to be forward thinking, forward facing, predicting the future, telling you how to dig your business out of a hole. They are data entry people. They're just going to go back in time and say, this is what happened. This is the numbers, right? And then obviously you're going to have to go behind them and say, hey, no, that's not acceptable. I need to understand what this line item is. I need to understand what that line item is. This was, incorrectly categorized. This needs to be over here. This was a payroll expense. This was not a that expense. But you have to really take responsibility for the success or failure of your own company. And the faster that you guys do that, and the faster that you start to view it that way, and it's not me, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to tell you guys, that it's your fault or whatever, but you have to take accountability. Your manager is not going to have the skill set or know-how of how to scale your company. It comes down to you. You have to seek out the information that you don't know, and you have to be able to push past the limitations that might come up for you. If you are, let's say, listening to this and you're like, I don't like her right now. I don't like this right now. I'm going to go check my phone right now. You're trying to escape from the topic at hand because it's uncomfortable, or it's not as exciting of a topic as maybe something else. It's really important that you guys lean into the things that you don't know, because right on the other side of that is clarity, it's confidence, it's education, and it starts to create change. And with change and what you're able to do and change in your business, you guys would be absolutely shocked how fast something can turn around that is not going well. Okay. I've seen salons that are literally, it's such a gorgeous place. You would think they have the most incredible infrastructure, the best numbers of this, of that, the most profit, and you pull back the curtain and you're like, holy shit. That is that's what? Like, you would be shocked. The thing is, though, is that the ones that have, it's almost it's a what would people think of me thing, honestly. And we've had, I mean, especially in the early days, guys, we had the same problem. We were wildly successful right out of the gate. I was doing $250K a year as a stylist. I was the go-to salon owner, go-to salon, go-to stylist in town, all the things. Had a line out the door of people that wanted to work there, wanted to rent there, whatever. Like very, very ego stroking things. Okay, guys. And, I had to have a really hard conversation with myself, especially when my life changed in 2017. I became a widowed single mom overnight. And I had to really face reality. Like, okay, number one, I can't do my craft anymore, at least during that time frame, because I physically could not. I had shattered ribs. I had a collapsed lung. I had a lot of healing and stuff ahead of me for me and my kids, and I had to prioritize that. And I had to get really serious about the business. And I couldn't just be like the little badass hairstylist anymore who made a bunch of money and had cash falling out of her purse everywhere. I couldn't be that girl anymore. And I had to get really serious about what I was doing and who I was doing it with and why I was doing it and how I was doing it. And that's really important because a lot of times people don't make a change until they have to. And I will say that's 100% true for me in that period of my life. Was I only made those changes because I had to, because I had everything on the line. Like I was personally guaranteeing that lease. I had gone from 2 incomes down to 1 income because my spouse freaking, if you guys know my story, it's freaking gnarly. My spouse died, and I had to figure it out. And in the midst of trying to also grieve and heal and keep everybody on the boat as well with me, that was really, really hard. And so, I wouldn't have made those changes, I would say, unless I had to. I probably eventually would have had to, I probably would have gone through, I'm not going to say more pain, because I don't know what's more painful than when I went through during those years, but I could have definitely gotten a few extra years down the road, just off luck and girl math. And that would have worked for a teeny bit, but I would have definitely had nothing to show for anything that I had, in all the years of time that I exchanged with my family, in exchange for my family. I wouldn't have had anything to show for anything that I had built or any risk I took or any liability I had on my back, if that hadn't happened so early on in me opening the salon. So, I'm not grateful for what happened, in the sense of me becoming a single widowed mom and having to deal with that and stuff. But I am grateful that I did learn early on that what I was doing was not going to get me where I wanted to go. And it wasn't going to get my family where I wanted my family to get to. And, it's really important that you guys get serious about the business you're building. And if it's going to be a business, okay? If it's going to be a business and we don't need to be pretending to be a business owner. Okay. You're either going to be a business owner or you're going to be a hobby hairstylist who has a lease. You decide. I don't get to decide that for you, but you have to choose. You have to choose which path you're going to go down, and you need to walk the walk and do the things that you need to do to get to the result. If you actually want to build a business, that's going to look like that, right? If you don't want to build a business and you just want to post funny dancing videos on TikTok and Instagram, you and your girl gang, okay? I used to do this. Actually, TikTok didn't exist at that time, but you want to do that and you want to be the little hot girl hairstylist who's making a shit ton of money, but literally chained to her chair, can't get out from behind the chair. That doesn't look like this path. Okay. You have to decide. And, hopefully, and I talk to a lot of people, and so does my husband. Hopefully it doesn't become a 5, 10, 20 year thing where you wake up one day and you're freaking 57 years old. I just talked to somebody last week, 57 years old, still doing hair 5-6 days a week, has no savings, has no life insurance, has no will, has no plan, has no nothing set up for her family. And her kids are grown. and she has grandkids, and she has absolutely no financial stability for herself. She has not been able to leave a legacy or even build a legacy for her family. And she is at the end of her career, in a sense, where she's doing the hairs still. And, she's still charging the same prices she was charging 20 something years ago. And it's really sad. It really is. So I'm not trying to, be a Debbie Downer here, but you have to choose. If you're going to build a business, go build the business. If you're going to be a hobby hairstylist and just have a bunch of fun and go to hair shows and get trashed with your team and do all that stuff, go do that. But you have to pick a path, because if you're trying to live both of those paths at the same time, you are going to have a traffic jam. It is not going to work out. You're going to constantly be climbing a mountain that you just never can see the top of. So, if you want help, okay, and I'm really being serious. We help people all the time. Like, we get on calls with people who aren't in a position to, and by the way, guys, we don't just build brands, we build businesses too. Like, that's the core foundation of what we do. We've been doing it since 2019. We've been helping salon owners start, scale, or save their company. If you are in that position and you're like, I need to save my company, right? I don't know what to do. I'm not breaking even. I can't get out from behind the chair. I'm missing time with my family. I can't take a damn vacation. I can't, walk away from my salon either, because I'm personally guaranteeing the lease, and then I'd be in a bunch of debt and I'd go to bankruptcy court and yada, yada, yada. If you're just absolutely stuck, I want you to book a call. Or join a community and go poke around in there and talk to people and message people and see what they think about what we got going on. We have so many free resources, but whatever you decide to do something. Do something to change the outcome of what you are currently doing, if what you're currently doing is not working, okay? And I just wanted to have a really real conversation, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that are struggling, but I want you guys to know you can get off the fucking struggle bus anytime. Just pull the dang bell and get up and get off. Like, you can decide. But the longer you stay on there, the longer you're prolonging and delaying what you could have and could earn and could do. So, I'm going to leave some links in the description for you guys, but whatever, pick something. Free group, book a call, listen to more of these episodes, take action, opt into a free budget sheet, like whatever. Like, there's so many things at your fingertips, so pick something. And I want to just, somebody here needed to hear that today. And I just wanted to just really articulate all of that to whoever these people, whoever the few of you are that really need to listen to this. I really wanted to just share what was on my heart today. But I love you guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening and for watching, and I'll see you next time.